fourth house, or Sukha Bhava for Gemini Rising. For Gemini Rising, the fourth house falls in Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Gemini, also ruled by Mercury, brings curiosity, duality, and mental agility to life, while Virgo adds analytical focus, practicality, and a need for order to the emotional and domestic sphere. This placement creates a native whose inner peace depends on clarity, structure, and rational coherence. Home is not just a retreat, it is a mental workspace, a place to process, categorize, and refine one's inner world. This house activates at ages 4, 16, 28, 40, 52, 64, and 76. Virgo in the fourth house makes the emotional landscape precise, measured, and often self-edited. These individuals feel secure when things are in order, emotionally and environmentally. Chaos at home tends to provoke anxiety, and emotional discomfort is met with problem-solving rather than raw expression. The relationship with the mother is often filtered through service, duty, or correction. Either she was highly attentive to detail and routines, or emotionally reserved but helpful in practical ways. This can instill in the native a sense of emotional responsibility from a young age. Mercury ruling both the ascendant and the fourth house brings a double emphasis on mental processes. The individual internalizes everything, making sense of their feelings through thinking, analyzing, and discussing. Emotional self-regulation is developed early, often replacing spontaneous expression with observation or control. Peace of mind comes not from escape, but from precision, having a space that is clean, schedules that are followed, and emotional expectations that make sense. Their ideal home is simple, efficient, and quietly intelligent. The emotional world here leans heavily toward discernment. These natives don't just feel, they categorize those feelings, study their causes, and attempt to improve upon them. While this gives them strong emotional clarity, it can also lead to overthinking, emotional suppression, or hypercriticism, both toward themselves and those they love. They often struggle with forgiving emotional messiness, especially in the domestic sphere, and may prefer helping others over opening up themselves. When evolved, this leads to great emotional maturity, grounded compassion, and clear communication of needs. Physiologically, Virgo ruling this house connects the emotional body to digestion, nervous system balance, and daily rhythms. Stress in the home affects the stomach, appetite, and general immunity. A cluttered or disordered space directly disturbs their peace of mind. Emotional tension may manifest as digestive trouble, skin irritation, or anxiety. Creating healthy routines, dietary stability, and quiet organization within the home becomes essential not just for comfort, but for emotional functionality. The early home environment may have emphasized manners, discipline, intellectual curiosity, or hygiene. These natives may remember being corrected often or feeling responsible for maintaining calm. They are likely to be sensitive to tone, cleanliness, and emotional predictability within their household. Even if affection was present, it was likely expressed through acts of service or teaching rather than overt emotionality. Over time, they learn that being cared for doesn't always mean being coddled. It may mean being taught how to survive, improve, or adapt. At age 4, early impressions of emotional structure begin to form, often through routines or expectations. By 16, the native begins self-monitoring emotional responses and may take on caregiving or organizing roles within the home. At 28, the focus shifts toward creating a personal haven that supports mental clarity and physical well-being. By 40, these individuals are typically known for their steady, thoughtful emotional presence, having learned to soften perfectionism into practical compassion. Professionally, this fourth house supports careers involving healing, counseling, editing, caregiving, nutrition, or systems management, especially from home or through emotionally supportive roles. Their best workspaces feel like extensions of their mind, quiet, intentional, and responsive. Peace for them lies in a life that is thoughtfully maintained, emotionally literate, and full of useful order. When they feel they've optimized their environment and nurtured others effectively, their heart finally settles into rest. Conjunctions in fourth house or Sukha Bhava for Gemini Rising. Part Mercury-ruled Gemini Rising places Virgo in the fourth house, sharpening the emotional field with analysis and discernment. When Venus and Saturn conjoin in this house, there's a push-pull between refinement and austerity in the emotional core. Venus brings beauty, comfort, and relational softness, while Saturn introduces duty, detachment, and long-term realism. The home is often maintained with minimalist elegance, structured yet soothing. Early emotional life may have felt conditional. Love was earned through behavior, presentation, or discipline. These natives become mature caretakers, but may need to learn that ease does not have to be traded for control. Mars and Mercury together create an emotionally alert, fast-reacting mental atmosphere within the home. Mars introduces assertiveness and volatility, while Mercury contributes quick thinking and mental articulation. Such a combination often appears in individuals raised in intellectually active but emotionally tense environments, where arguments, swift problem-solving, or strong opinions shape their inner compass. The emotional rhythm becomes fast, logical, and goal-directed. These natives are sharp in verbal defense and may find peace not in silence but in clarity, decisions, and practical dialogue. Jupiter and Mars in the fourth house bring visionary strength to the native's emotional center. Jupiter expands through philosophy and generosity, while Mars pushes through ambition and instinct. The native often develops moral convictions early, likely rooted in home values that emphasize truth, effort, and overcoming. They tend to idealize their roots, but may also struggle with reconciling their own will against inherited belief systems. This conjunction grants resilience, a protective instinct for family, and drive to build emotionally rich yet principle-based environments. Saturn and Rahu here produce a subtle inner tension between social ambition and emotional withdrawal. Saturn grants discipline and cautious restraint, while Rahu injects restlessness, intensity, and hunger for significance. These natives are often raised in homes where appearances mattered, or where there was instability, cloaked in strict order. Emotional self-worth becomes entangled with outer achievement or unconventional standards. The native craves recognition, but feels emotionally blocked in receiving it. Their peace is found not through perfection, but through learning to accept emotional irregularity as part of the human pattern. Venus and Mars together in Virgo give a highly charged emotional sensitivity, expressed through service, correction, or relational perfectionism. There's an underlying sensuality refined by detail, a love for crafting beauty with precision, and a desire to emotionally connect through acts of care. The home may become a stage for relational dynamics, passion woven with critique. In early life, the native may have witnessed love expressed through conflict and repair. As adults, they oscillate between craving affection and attempting to control its terms, eventually finding emotional grace through balanced vulnerability. Jupiter and Mercury conjoined here offer elevated emotional intelligence and communicative wisdom. The native often emerges from a household where knowledge, ethics, or debate shape the family dynamic. Jupiter adds faith and context, while Mercury refines the delivery of thought. This creates a native who seeks truth as a way to find emotional peace, often mentoring or guiding others through intellect. Their emotional life matures through articulation. Peace is not an escape from thought, but the result of it being used in service to understanding and meaning. Venus and Ketu in this house bring refinement with inner detachment. Venus desires harmony and emotional resonance. Ketu diffuses the attachment to outcome. These individuals often maintain graceful homes, yet feel a quiet absence within. Love may be felt more as a responsibility than a romance. Their early emotional life may have included themes of being adored, but not deeply known, or appreciated for qualities that felt disconnected from their core. Over time, they may turn towards spiritual love, minimalism, or acts of quiet beauty as their emotional offering to the world. Mars and Saturn together in the fourth forge an inner life marked by tension between impulse and control. Mars gives heat and willpower. Saturn imposes brakes and consequence. The native may have grown up in emotionally restrictive or high-pressure settings, where survival meant restraint, and action was carefully monitored. This emotional climate creates resilience, but also buried anger or defensiveness. These natives often build durable lives from unstable beginnings, yet must learn that peace isn't found through endurance alone, but by softening the need to fight what's already been built. Fourth house, or Sukha Bhava for Libra Rising, Part 1. For Libra Rising, the fourth house falls in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. Libra, governed by Venus, seeks balance, beauty, and relationship harmony, while Capricorn introduces structure, restraint, time awareness, and emotional discipline into the inner life. This blend creates a native whose emotional grounding is tied to stability, responsibility, and long-term planning. The home becomes less about indulgence and more about foundation, a place where security is earned through endurance and order rather than spontaneity or emotional fluidity. This house activates at ages 4, 16, 28, 40, 52, 64, and 76. Capricorn in the fourth house lends a tone of emotional caution and sobriety. These natives often grow up in households where emotions were not freely expressed, but rather translated into duty, practicality, or long-term survival. The mother or maternal figure may be seen as resilient, responsible, or emotionally reserved, someone who held the family together through quiet endurance. Emotional development thus unfolds in structured layers. The native becomes the emotional anchor for others before learning how to truly receive support themselves. Saturn's rulership of this house emphasizes maturity in the emotional domain. These individuals do not seek chaotic warmth. They crave dependable structure. The home must be functional, organized, and timeless, built to withstand change, not ride its waves. There is often a natural sense of responsibility toward family or home management from a young age. Emotional safety comes from knowing that things are in place, expectations are defined, and that their role in the system is clear. They feel most secure when surrounded by long-term reliability rather than transient affection. The emotional world is internalized, serious, and marked by deep patience. These natives tend to reflect before reacting, rarely displaying raw emotion unless deeply provoked. While they may appear emotionally cool, their inner life is steady and committed. They offer enduring loyalty and stability to loved ones, though often struggle with emotional softness. As they mature, they learn that vulnerability is not weakness, and that showing emotion can be a way to connect, not lose control. Physiologically, Capricorn in the fourth house connects emotional tone to the bones, knees, and skeletal structure. Emotional burden may manifest as physical stiffness, joint discomfort, or a general heaviness in the body. Long-term stress is often carried physically, especially if emotional responsibility was assumed too early. Healing begins when structure serves emotional ease rather than suppressing it. Creating a home with warmth, without sacrificing order, becomes key to their deeper peace. The early home may have had a tone of discipline, time structuring, or emotional withholding. There may have been material limitations, strict expectations, or emotional scarcity. Even in supportive homes, there is often an implicit contract of responsibility, where love was expressed through stability, sacrifice, or provision. These natives often carry emotional endurance as a strength, but must also learn that their emotional needs deserve attention, even if unspoken. At age 4, the emotional self begins forming around stability and routine. At 16, themes of control, withdrawal, or early responsibility may arise. By 28, many Libra risings seek to build their own stable emotional foundation, often through property, caregiving, or long-term investment. At 40, they become capable of deep emotional leadership, quiet protectors of family, memory, and legacy, once they learn to soften the rigidity of early conditioning. Professionally, this fourth house supports careers in architecture, real estate, elder care, administration, or any field requiring endurance and system building, especially in home-based or emotionally secure contexts. Their emotional fulfillment lies in creating reliable structures for themselves and others. Peace for them is not loud or decorative, it is quiet, earned, and built layer by layer, like the stone walls of an old house that, though weathered, have never fallen. Conjunctions in fourth house, or Sukha Bhava for Libra rising, part 2. When Mercury and Saturn conjoin in the fourth house, the emotional landscape becomes deeply structured, quiet, and introspective. Mercury brings analysis, communication, and mental patterning, while Saturn introduces caution, long-term memory, and emotional austerity. These natives are often shaped by early homes where order, silence, and discipline prevailed. Emotional expression was likely monitored or subtly discouraged, leading to a preference for internalized processing. Over time, they develop strong emotional judgment and steady loyalty, but they must unlearn the instinct to solve or suppress feelings instead of simply allowing them. Mars and Venus together in this house create a charged yet refined emotional environment. Mars gives instinct, assertion, and drive. Venus lends sensitivity, taste, and harmony. These individuals grow up navigating the tension between peacekeeping and confrontation. Emotional expression is passionate, but often channeled through aesthetics, relationships, or perfectionist standards. Their homes tend to reflect both beauty and intensity, perhaps remembered for vivid emotional episodes beneath a polished exterior. Peace is found when they balance affection with directness and stop fearing emotional friction as a threat to stability. Jupiter and Saturn in the fourth house instill emotional gravity balanced with philosophical resilience. Jupiter expands inner belief and emotional generosity, while Saturn imposes karmic maturity and realism. These natives often come from homes with strict moral or educational frameworks, where duty and wisdom were intertwined. They may inherit a deep emotional responsibility to carry forward a legacy or uphold a tradition. Emotional expression is principled, but careful. Inner peace arrives when they learn that emotional truth doesn't need to be delayed in the name of discipline. It can coexist with structure and still be alive. Mercury with Mars sharpens emotional response through thought and assertion. The home may have been mentally dynamic, verbally sharp, or even argumentative, where debate was more frequent than nurturing. These individuals learn to think fast, act fast, and defend their feelings through speech or action. While this makes them emotionally agile, it can also lead to impatience or harsh inner narratives. Their peace comes when they slow their reactions and allow feelings to be absorbed before they are dissected, recognizing that not all emotions need fixing. Jupiter and Mars together give rise to moral conviction and emotional protectiveness. Jupiter contributes vision and belief, while Mars energizes defense and courage. These natives are often shaped by homes where ideological intensity or spiritual conviction ran deep, possibly guided by a strong paternal figure or ancestral duty. They feel compelled to protect their emotional values and loved ones with fiery integrity. The challenge lies in softening the righteousness that can emerge from this combination. Their emotional evolution lies in allowing empathy to temper judgment. Venus and Ketu in the fourth house create a beautiful yet emotionally minimalist internal life. Venus brings sensitivity to aesthetics and love, while Ketu infuses detachment and subtle disinterest. These natives may appear emotionally graceful and artistically inclined, yet they often feel a quiet emotional vacuum or a longing for something undefined. Early home life may have involved absent affection, aesthetic richness with emotional silence, or deeply spiritual caregiving without emotional anchoring. Peace arises when they stop searching for perfection in others and embrace love that is spacious, present, and real. Mercury and Jupiter together form a highly reflective and intellectually expansive emotional base. Mercury articulates emotion. Jupiter provides context and wisdom. These natives often come from homes centered around learning, ethics, or higher values. Emotional experiences are processed through dialogue, philosophy, or teaching. The challenge is to remain emotionally present while interpreting. They must learn not to elevate feelings into theory too quickly. Emotional peace matures when they accept feelings for their immediacy before refining them into insight. Saturn and Rahu conjoining in the fourth house generates internalized emotional tension built around ambition and caution. Saturn disciplines the emotional body, while Rahu disturbs it through craving and irregular intensity. The native may have experienced emotional detachment in early life while also carrying pressure to prove themselves or secure something unreachable. The home may have been outwardly structured, yet inwardly unstable or marked by unspoken fears. As adults, they seek emotional permanence, but may mistrust stability when it appears. Inner peace comes when they allow their emotional world to be ordinary, human, and safe, rather than something to master or control. Fourth house, or Sukha Bhava for Aquarius Rising, Part 1. For Aquarius Rising, the fourth house falls in Taurus, ruled by Venus. Aquarius, governed by Saturn and Rahu, brings innovation, detachment, and idealism, while Taurus introduces stability, material comfort, sensuality, and grounding into the emotional and domestic sphere. This combination produces a native who seeks emotional peace through consistency, tactile satisfaction, and long-term security. The home becomes a stabilizing anchor, a refuge from the mind's restlessness, where beauty, silence, and predictability nurture the heart. This house activates at ages 4, 16, 28, 40, 52, 64, and 76. Taurus in the fourth house lends a calm, composed, and pleasure-seeking tone to the inner emotional world. These individuals often grow up in households that emphasize material well-being, food, aesthetics, and quiet routine. The mother figure may be remembered as steady, practical, affectionate, or focused on the tangible aspects of care. Even if affection wasn't overtly emotional, it was likely expressed through provision, nourishment, or creating a comforting environment. These natives develop a deep need for emotional constancy and physical beauty within their private spaces. Venus, as ruler of the fourth house, adds artistic refinement, emotional grace, and a deep sensitivity to the environment. Emotional comfort is directly tied to sensory atmosphere. Textures, scents, colors, and sounds in the home can impact mood profoundly. The native often views their home as an extension of their self-worth and emotional safety. Clutter or chaos is deeply unsettling, while harmony in decor and routine promotes inner peace. Though they may seem emotionally cool on the surface, their affections run deep and are expressed through care, service, and consistency rather than drama. The emotional world here is measured, peace-loving, and focused on retention. These natives form attachments slowly but deeply, and are not inclined to emotional upheaval. Security, both material and emotional, is prioritized above all. They may prefer to manage emotions through physical rituals, cooking, decorating, gardening, or collecting. However, the tendency to suppress conflict in favor of surface harmony can lead to emotional stagnation. Growth lies in learning to confront discomfort without fearing the loss of stability. Physiologically, Taurus ruling the fourth house connects emotions to the throat, vocal cords, and sensory regulation. Emotional stress may manifest as tightness in the neck, issues with eating, or withdrawal into silence. The body often absorbs emotional energy, especially when feelings are not spoken aloud. Peace is restored through touch, routine, and grounding practices. These individuals benefit from being surrounded by natural elements, flowers, plants, fine fabrics, or music, as part of their emotional self-care. The early home is often remembered for its steadiness, beauty, or rituals, whether meals at a fixed time, a favorite room filled with sunlight, or emotional rhythms that rarely changed. Even in less materially secure homes, there is often an emphasis on preservation and comfort. The native absorbs the lesson that home is where you return to, not just physically, but emotionally and energetically. Over time, they seek to recreate that sanctuary through conscious design and quiet emotional strength. At age 4, early bonding occurs through repetition and sensory presence. At 16, the native may begin expressing emotional boundaries or building a private space that reflects personal value. By 28, many establish a home rooted in ownership, comfort, or beauty, preferring quality over flash. At 40, they embody emotional resilience through inner contentment and external stability, learning that stillness is not stagnation, but power preserved. Professionally, this fourth house supports roles in real estate, design, culinary arts, music, architecture, or caregiving, especially when tied to physical environments. The emotional foundation is a reliable one, built to last and resistant to erosion. Their peace comes from knowing that their private world is steady, sensory, and self-sustained. For them, home is not a place of emotional drama. It is where the soul rests, the senses heal, and the heart feels safe to remain still. Conjunctions in fourth house or Sukha Bhava for Aquarius Rising Part 2. When Venus and Mercury conjoin in the fourth house, emotional expression becomes graceful, intelligent, and rooted in refinement. Venus brings harmony, beauty, and sensual affection. Mercury adds verbal clarity, wit, and a keen sense of organization. These natives often come from homes where aesthetic appreciation and gentle communication were central, perhaps filled with music, reading, or artistic rituals. Their emotional peace arises from meaningful conversation and physical elegance. They create homes that feel both mentally soothing and emotionally tender, spaces where everything is in its right place and everyone feels welcomed. Venus and Moon together in Taurus offer deep emotional calm and loving steadiness. The Moon nourishes and attunes, while Venus lends pleasure, peace, and relational softness. These natives are shaped by emotionally warm and affectionate homes, spaces where comfort was a priority and love was expressed through nurturing acts. As adults, they seek to recreate this sense of emotional haven, often turning their home into a space that heals others as well. Their emotional nature is rhythmic, loyal, and tender, grounded in beauty and consistent care. Mercury and Moon conjoined here enhance emotional intelligence and sensory communication. The Moon provides intuition and mood sensitivity, while Mercury adds articulation and intellectual responsiveness. These natives are deeply in tune with the emotional nuances of their environment, often recalling childhood memories through sound, language, or scent. Peace for them lies in expression, writing, speaking, or curating atmospheres where the emotional mind is soothed by gentle mental flow. Their homes reflect this integration. Libraries beside kitchens, music beside ritual, spaces that feed both heart and mind. Jupiter and Venus in conjunction within this house bring a deeply blessed and elegant emotional presence. Venus contributes harmony, aesthetic devotion, and love for sensual ease. Jupiter expands this with wisdom, generosity, and moral optimism. These natives are often raised in homes that celebrated love, learning, or sacred beauty. Their emotional path is one of abundant kindness and the quiet discipline of joy. They create homes filled with taste and grace, where love is both felt and understood, and emotional values align with timeless principles of devotion and goodwill. Jupiter and Moon together here infuse emotional life with intuitive insight and nurturing wisdom. The Moon responds with feeling. Jupiter amplifies with faith and ethical guidance. These individuals grow up in households shaped by emotional benevolence, sometimes guided by cultural or spiritual beliefs that shape their understanding of love. They carry this into adulthood, offering kindness, emotional safety, and philosophical depth. Their homes become places of healing, protection, and teaching, where emotional well-being is sacred and connection is rooted in trust and care. Sun and Mercury, conjoined in Taurus, foster inner clarity and intelligent self-possession. The Sun offers confidence and purpose, while Mercury enhances reason and articulation. These natives are shaped by homes where voice and identity were encouraged, environments where being heard was part of being loved. Their emotional rhythm is rational, self-aware, and quietly radiant. They express themselves with confidence but without force. Their peace lies in being able to articulate values, and their home reflects quiet command, tastefully arranged, comfortably managed, and always grounded in purpose. Sun and Venus together here create an emotionally dignified and artistically anchored self. The Sun provides authority and presence. Venus refines that with sweetness and balance. These natives are drawn to environments that reflect personal pride through beauty. The early home may have emphasized aesthetics, propriety, or familial grace. As adults, they carry emotional nobility, offering warmth without intrusion, affection without demand. Their home is a reflection of inner stability, radiating subtle charm and emotional loyalty. Jupiter and Mercury in conjunction in the fourth house combine intellectual expansion with spiritual calm. Mercury provides communication and detail, while Jupiter brings vision, understanding, and ethical grounding. These natives are raised in environments where knowledge and conversation were tools for emotional safety. Their homes are built as temples of thought, quiet but rich with insight, filled with meaningful objects, books, and sacred order. Their emotional peace comes from meaningful discussion, quiet purpose, and a belief that the domestic space is where the soul is taught to be still and wise.